Okyalaba program Buli Mukyala. Natasha agamba nti ekimu ku biyinza okukulaakulanya Uganda be bantu okussa ekitiibwa mu maka awamu ne mu kulabirira abaana. Egimu ku mirimu Natasha gy'akola ng'omuntu gya bwannakyewa era nga gyakulabirira abaana abataliiko mwasirizi oba abali mu bwetaavu.
Yes, Natasha, you know, on this program, we also do other things. We visit disadvantaged groups of people and do small features on them and try to look for help. So there's two places that I went to, totally different places. And when they were telling me about the people who have given them some help, they both told me that, you know, even the first daughter gave us some help, and she sent some clothes and this and this. She calls us, and these were two different people. I first heard it from the first people, then I heard it again from somebody else, and I was so touched. It wasn't anywhere in the news, it was just you and those people. And I said, wow. And they were not big NGOs that can definitely reach you so fast. They were just small entities of people trying to help children. And that was really amazing, I must admit. Tell us about your passion for looking out for children.
I don't know if I can, something I can explain. It's just something that is on my heart and in my heart. It's something I feel very deeply about. The children of not just Uganda, children generally, and so when I am able to help in any way, what God brings my way, if I hear of a certain organization or that is doing good, is actually helping children, then I normally find ways to reach them and to give assistance that I'm able to give at the time. But I think that is an area that we need to focus on as a nation, the children, because children are the next generation, and they are somewhat, they don't seem like such a priority many times, but for me personally, it's something that I just...
That's very true. Children don't seem like such a priority. That's why children in Uganda are prone to so many things. There's lots of neglect. And what would you want to see change in our different families at whichever level? What would you want to see change in terms of how we take care of children?
I don't think it's only about how people take care of children. There's a lot involved. There are deeper elements I think involved. There's cultural issues. There's poverty. There are a lot of things that affect the way. But also now I think there's also, like you were saying, general parents are a bit detached from children, and then you hear all sorts of sad, very tragic tales. So I don't know, I don't think there's something I can say in a phrase to say what needs to be done in our homes, but I think it's just an area that we need to see how we can dig deeper and know what the true issues are. And work together as communities, as families, work with the police, and just by God's grace eradicate a lot of these things that just seem to be growing.
And Natasha, we also saw you at the front line back in the day when the First Lady and the President were really, really fighting HIV. We saw you in documentaries, Blue Drives, be a part of the whole fight. Do you feel like HIV prevalence has reduced?
It had reduced, of course, from the original, I think, the statistics of, that time, but I know it came back a bit, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening there. I don't know if it's influence from, I don't know where, that is affecting the youth especially, because now you hear a lot about HIV in the young people, which is very sad. I just don't know where it's coming from.
Natasha awandiika obutabo bw'abaana nga mu butabo buno abuulira abaana ku by'obuwangwa eby'enjawulo ebiri mu bitundu by'eggwanga lino eby'enjawulo era n'ababuulira n'empisa ennungi ezikwatagana n'ebyobuwangwa ebyo. Yasooka kuwandiika butabo bw'abaana bawala era ng'abalabula okweyisa obulungi, ng'abalabula ku bamuliisa maanyi era ne bakibba baana. Essaawa ya leero Natasha era ali mu kuwandiika butabo obw'abaana abalenzi.
We heard you have some children's books coming up. Should we expect some children's books from Natasha?
Hopefully in the future. I did write a story for a traditional tale that my mom used to tell us when we were young, that really touched me from when we were very young. So I wrote that, and of course I wrote it in English, but I think there's a Runyankore version now out. But that was for girls, because by that time my daughter was at a certain age and I wanted her to know our culture, because it's very important to me that our children know our culture and not grow up, I don't know how to put it, not grow up without culture, without knowing where they come from, because that's what our parents did for us. So I wanted to do one for my sons, which I hope to do soon.
Do we also expect some children's projects, maybe?
Like what, for example?
Like an NGO?
Oh no, what I do is work with a couple of institutions and charities that are already established, because I was busy doing other things. But that's what I hope to continue to do, to continue to support children's charities and projects that are already established.
Jjukira omukyala ali eyo nti kikulu nnyo okussa ekitiibwa mu mwami wo era ne mu maka go, kubanga n'omwana wa pulezidenti alina buli kimu, amaka n'obufumbo bwe akitwala ng'ekikulu. Ne bw'oba bize otya, fissa akadde olabirire abaana bo, kubanga ne Natasha omwana wa pulezidenti w'eggwanga alina ensimbi ezipangisa buli mukozi gw'ayagala, afissa akadde n'alabirira abaana be, era yasuulawokko n'emirimu n'atuula waka okumala akabanga ng'ayagala okwekuliza abaana be.
Natasha, I understand you left fashion and you are now private secretary for the president in charge of household affairs. How has been the transition? Because fashion is glamour, it's diamonds, it's pearls, it's clothes, and then you come here and there are deadlines and the president has to be somewhere and there's security, whatever he's going to eat. How has been the transition?
I did leave fashion a couple of years ago when my children were young. I think to focus on home life with them, because I was neither here nor there. I was not at work and I was not at home. I was like in between all the time. So I did. And at some point I came and worked with my parents, but it was a contract for a period, and the period ended. So I went back home. So I'm not actually working in that position anymore. I haven't been for a while. I went home. We have 4 children. So we had a baby a year and a half ago. So I've been at home with my children, with my husband, and just soon, actually in a little while, I'm reopening my fashion. So I think that's a part of me that God just maybe wants me to keep at. So I'm actually getting back into that.
Okay. How was it working with your dad?
It was very simple, because it was just like because it is I know them, so it was not difficult for me at all in any way. Of course it was different because I've never been formally, it was my first time to be formally employed, to have a structure and that I didn't have with my fashion house. It was more flexible for me. So here you have to be here on time, you have to follow certain rules and things, so that was a bit difficult for me to adjust to in the beginning, but I did, and it was good.
Kyokka Natasha agamba nti yadde nga Mukama yamuwa omukisa okuba kyali, ebyogerwa ku famire ye naddala ku kitaawe nga bya bulimba birumya nnyo omutima gwe ng'omuntu, ng'omukyala omufumbo era ng'omuzadde. Tukuleetedde ekitundu ekyokubiri eky'emboozi ya muwala wa President Museveni, omukyala Natasha Kalugire Museveni, ng'atunuza mu bulamu bwe.
Do you ever get affected to a very, very personal level?
No, not anymore. No, not anymore. I think when he says that
tusaanidde kusubwa ku Sunday ssaawa 10 ez'olweggulo, program Buli Mukyala nange Justin Nameere ku Bukedde TV 1 kwokka.